This reel got thousands of views before any of my followers even saw it. Yes, today I'm sharing how creators are using trial reels to increase their views and to gain more followers. In this video, I'm going to cover how to post a trial reel, 3 ways that you can use them strategically, and how to know whether you should share your trial reel with your audience or just let it live as a trial forever. So before we get into it, what even are trial reels? When you post a trial reel, Instagram shows it only to the people who do not follow you yet. So none of your followers will see this reel pop up in their Explore feed, and it won't show up on your profile either. Now, you might be thinking, well, why would I want to hide my reels from my followers? Well, normally when you post a reel, a huge chunk of the engagement and views comes from your followers, the people who already know you. But with trial reels, you're able to actually test content with a completely cold audience. This means that you can actually see how your content performs in front of total strangers. And it's a really great way to test new content formats without so much pressure. Actually posting your trial reel is super easy. You're gonna open Instagram and post a reel exactly like you normally would. Right before you hit post, just scroll down to where it says trial and turn this button on. Now, when you hit post, this is gonna be posted as a trial reel. Like I said, your trial reel is not gonna be seen on your Instagram profile. So if you wanna see your trial reel, just go to your Reels tab, tap on Drafts and Trial Reels, then tap Trial Reels, and they'll all pop up right there. So as you can see, this is the only place that I see my trial reel. If I go to my Instagram feed, it's not there. And like I said earlier, this reel will only be seen by non-followers. So no one that follows you will see it, unless you specifically share it with them, which we will talk about a little later on in the video. After you post this reel, Instagram starts by sharing it with a small group of people that they think will be interested in it. So usually they take the video's topic and they try to push out this video to people who are interested in that topic. If those users engage with your reel, then Instagram will continue to push it out to more and more people. This is exactly how a lot of creators are going from 0 to thousands and thousands and thousands of views without their audience ever even seeing the reel. So as you can see, this is a trial reel that before I even shared it to my audience, managed to get 26,000 views. And I think that's pretty awesome. As you can see at the bottom, I gained 11 followers just from this one reel, specifically because this reel was shared with a bunch of people who didn't follow me yet. Now, before I get into a few different ways that you can strategically use this feature, I do want to talk about some limitations when it comes to trial reels. As of right now, Instagram hasn't officially announced this, but a lot of creators have noticed that there's a limit to how many trial reels that you can post per day. Some users report that they can post up to 25 trials per day. Other users report that they can only post 5 trials per day. And certain users have even been banned from posting trials just because they post too many in a day. So in order to avoid this from happening, I would just be really strategic with what trials you post and how many you're posting. I personally wouldn't post more than 5 per day just for now, especially since there hasn't been any official update, but people are getting banned from it. So just be careful. All right, so here are 3 different ways that creators are using trial reels. Number 1, reposting your top performing reels. In my opinion, this is one of the smartest ways to use trial reels because if you've had a reel that's done well in the past, odds are it's probably gonna do well again. To find your top performing reels, go to your professional dashboard and then tap content you shared. You can actually filter it by last 2 years, or maybe you just wanna do last year. And from here, you can actually see which reels got the most views or got the most followers or whatever metric matters to you. From there, you can take some of these videos, download them, and repost them again as a trial reel. The goal is that by reposting these reels for a completely new audience, hopefully they'll do just as well. So hopefully you'll get a lot of views and a lot of followers and all that jazz. And it's great because you're not just reposting it to your main feed, so there's no fear that anybody's already seen this video. Method number 2 is to use trial reels to test out new content formats. One One of the biggest benefits to trial reels is that you have the freedom to experiment. So if you've been curious about posting a different type of content, like maybe you want to talk about a specific topic that you've never talked about, or try out a new editing style, or post your first story time, whatever it looks like for you, this is the perfect place to do it without that fear of my audience might not like this. I don't know how this is going to perform. It's like the perfect testing ground. Typically, your followers are used to your normal content. So if you post anything that's new, it might not get engagement simply because they're just not used to that type of style from you. So with trial reels, you can see how it does with complete strangers first. And then from there, you can decide, okay, if this gets a lot of views, if this gets a lot of engagement, then maybe I'll test this out with my actual followers now. As a creator who loves testing out different content formats, I really enjoy using trial reels in this way. Sometimes I post something and it might not get any views at all, and then I can just let it die as a trial. But if it does well, then it's great, and then it's something that I feel more comfortable to share with my followers. And the third way that you can use trial reels is A/B testing. A lot of creators will use trial reels to post two almost identical reels, but with one small change. This way they can test out which version performs better. So for example, a few weeks ago, I posted this video as a trial, and it only got around like 1,000 views after the first day or so, which is pretty low compared to my normal content. So I re-uploaded the same exact video with the same exact audio. I just changed the text that's actually on top of the video. So then I also posted this one as a trial, and after literally an hour, it hit 13,000 views. So naturally, that second hook worked a little bit better, and I decided to actually share that version of the video with my followers as well. It's crazy because a week later, I actually went back and looked at the original trial reel that I never ended up sharing, and that video ended up getting around 6,000 views after a week versus the video that I shared with my followers with the different hook. It ended up getting 300,000 views. So that's pretty cool. And again, they were the exact same video, exact same audio, exact same caption, hashtags, everything was exactly the same. It was just the hook on top that I changed. So if you want to try this test, you can create two slightly different versions of the same reel. Maybe you change up the text on top like I did, or maybe you change something else like the cover photo or the hashtags or the CTA. Maybe you ask them to comment something instead of follow you. I don't know, whatever it happens to be. Change up something slightly and you can test it to see how it performs. Okay, I know I said that I was only going to share 3 things, but I actually have a bonus tip for you. And that's that you can actually connect your Manychat automations to trial reels. So you know those reels where creators will say, comment the word bubbles and I'll send you this link. I don't know why I use bubbles. Yes, you can do that with trial reels too. So you can send a freebie or a product link or a newsletter sign up, whatever it is you do. You can do this with trial reels as well as normal reels too. If you haven't set up your first Manychat automation yet, I'm gonna put a video in the description that walks you through 3 of the most popular automations. And you would just set this up exactly as you would any other reel. There's nothing special that you have to do to set it up as a trial reel. You just do it like it was a normal reel. I've personally used Manychat with trial reels, specifically when I'm using trial reel method number 1 that I talked about. If you remember, it was reposting your top performing content. So what I've done in the past is I've actually looked in my analytics, like I showed you earlier, and I filtered it by top comments. And so I'll look at which of my reels got the most Manychat comment replies, and then I'll just repost those, add the Manychat automation like I normally do, and voila, it gets more comments again. So after you post a trial reel, you have 2 options. You can either leave that reel as a trial, or you can share it with your followers. So if we go back to the example that I showed you earlier, where this reel got 20,000 views in like a day of being a trial reel, I decided that this reel was one that I actually wanted to share with my followers in hopes that it would grow even more. You know, it did well as a trial, so it'll probably do well with my followers as well. I'm gonna show you how to share it with your audience in just a second, but if we look at this reel, this is the data after 3 days. So I shared it to my audience, and 3 days later, it went from 20,000 views to 90,000 views. So first I'm gonna walk you through how to actually do this, and then we'll talk about when you should do this. So to share it with your followers, click on your trial reel, then tap the 3 dots on the bottom right. From there, you're gonna click Manage Trial, and then you're gonna tap this button at the top that says Share to Everyone. Then the reel will automatically be shared with your followers, and it'll show up on your profile grid. Even if you originally posted your trial a few days ago or a few weeks ago, it's gonna appear that this is a brand new post. So you're gonna see that the date is gonna show up that you posted it today. So it's kind of like you're posting a new reel, except that you have a huge head start because you likely already racked up a lot of views. Now, not every trial is going to be a winner. So the key is knowing which reels you should actually share with your audience and which ones you can kind of just leave as a trial forever. After you post your trial reel, I would highly recommend not making this decision until around 24 to 48 hours have passed. This is just because sometimes it takes Instagram a little bit of time to actually get your reel out to the right people. But after that 48-hour mark, you usually have an idea of whether this trial is a winner or not. Then I would think to yourself, which type of trial reel is this? Like, what was the goal here? Because if you use the method of reposting a top performer, it might not make sense to share it with your audience, considering that everyone who already follows you has probably seen that reel before. So depending on how recent the original video was posted, it might not make sense to share it again to your followers. If you use the A/B testing method, you'll probably only want to share one of the versions with your followers. Might look a little weird if you post both, you know? And if you use the method of testing out a new content format, as long as the performance of that video is pretty good, I would say it's safe to share it. So how do you actually determine whether a trial reel's performance is good enough? Well, I first suggest identifying which metrics are important to you and also the overall goal of the individual post. So for example, if you used Manychat on a reel and you asked people to comment a specific word in order to get a link or something like that, one of the metrics that's most important to you on that reel is comments. If you see that you got a lot of comments, share this reel with your followers. If you didn't get a lot of comments, maybe adjust the reel slightly. Maybe try a different hook. Maybe try a different word, ask them to comment something different. Again, kind of going back to that A/B testing method that I talked about earlier. Personally, I like to focus on the views, the comments, shares, reposts, followers, and watch time. But again, those are the metrics that are most important to me. It might look a little bit different for you. Now, if the trial reel gets low engagement or low views, I would probably consider just letting it die as a trial. There's no negatives to leaving it as a trial forever, and your followers will never even know about that reel. Now, if you want to share it with your followers, even though it got low engagement, you totally can, but I'd probably consider using the A/B testing method again and going back to the video, changing something slightly and reposting it as a trial to see if you can get it to actually perform well. But that's just me. Personally. This all just shows the beauty of trial reels. Your followers literally get the best of the best. And then anything else that doesn't perform as well can just be left as a trial. So that is all I have for you today. I really hope this video was helpful. And I'm curious in the comments, let me know how often you use trial reels. I would say I probably post around 5 trial reels a week. I probably should use them a little more. So I'm super excited to continue to test them out. But let me know where you're at. If you post more than me, or maybe you haven't posted any at all. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already for more videos like this, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.